So talk to me about shaking hands, right? People think co-founders just magically end up together after meeting at a gathering, shaking hands, and then it's done. But we all know that, like, I've had previous startup experiences where I, just had been screwed over by people, this and that. Like, how, I don't mean to be crass, but that's just what it is, right? And it happens in startups all the time.
It's the most critical decision you make. It's sometimes even more critical than the industry you want to get into, or the ideation.
It doesn't matter. It's
product.
about who you do it with.
Some of the most successful companies have pivoted, so it's not very important. It is important to be logical in your approach, but the most critical part is who you're partnering with.
Exactly.
Who you're getting straight into a Catholic marriage, so to speak, over there. It's and it might not be as strict as a Catholic marriage, but if it's going to end with you breaking up, it doesn't end well at all.
Exactly.
Right? So you're going to have a lot of conviction and faith in the partner that you have. And to take it back a question, do you need this co-founder? And that's where you start up with is, so why do I need a co-founder or more or two or three? Right, when you want to start a business. And I can give you first-hand feedback is startup 2 for me is so much better because I have a co-founder.
Right.
Unlike startup 1. I had to sort of cover areas and skill sets and deliver on skill sets that I didn't have in startup 1, right? Where in startup 2 there is this amazing complementarity that we have together. I'm strong in X, you're strong in Y, and the rest of the team is strong in Z. We can carry the burden together. Each in their area of strength will deliver more collectively for the company. And it's also great to have somebody to share the burden with.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
There's so many anxiety-inducing messages, emails that you receive, whether it's from a legal perspective, competition standpoint, or just like, hitting your timelines because they're always aggressive in startups. You're expected to bring about disproportionate returns, and the anticipation is high.
It's
right?
very, very
consistently
tough.
high. And when you do it for long enough, it's brutal.
It's brutal. It can be the difference between having a successful and an unsuccessful startup, because the burden becomes too much at certain points in time, and you're like spinning out of control. You're not in control of everything that you're building, and if you could be growing at a great pace, but you're in control of none of it. And that's a problem. The advantage of having a aligned, complementary co-founder cannot be overstated. It's not a 1+1. I know this is going to sound cliche, but it is well past the 1+1 if it's the right team, if it's the right
matters
co-founders.
So much.
In my first experience being a sole founder, told you something about me in sort of the high self-belief I had, and I can do this on my own.
Of course.
Right? What you don't think about is the complete lack of support system that you have when you start a new company, right? If you're used to being in corporate for a long time, you're used to things being done in a reasonably timely manner, in a reasonable quality manner. You don't worry about HR necessarily, or finance, or some of the core functionality that just is there for you. When you're the sole co-founder, you're the HR, you're the CFO. Even if you start hiring for these positions, you still feel that ultimately you're responsible for all of them, and you never have enough funding for them to be at the quality of like a large company. And over time, it chips away at you.
Of course,
right? At your focus, at your drive, at everything. Whereby when you have, dependable co-founders in the middle, you split the job, you carry some of the same load together, right? Like part me, part you, and we see it through. Somebody is overworked and exhausted, somebody will carry that forward with them. So I can't emphasize it enough. It's just as bad getting the wrong co-founder involved, because that it becomes
Kills
not
the
just
time.
not just do you lose the advantage that I was talking about, it actually takes away from your productivity also, where a larger part of your day is conflict
And politics.
and so on, and that's the worst possible result.
Awesome. So, I mean, I think that's a very good, I mean, for folks that don't understand what building a startup is like, this might sound like gibberish and like, foreign speak, and I totally get that. But for us, I feel like, I understand, like, it's very in the trenches, you get it, right?